Adolf Hitler was born in Austria in 1889. He wasn't a happy child, his family moved a lot, and honestly he didn't do well in school. He dreamed of being an artist, but his dreams were crushed when he was rejected by art school. This made him bitter. Imagine feeling like a failure when you're young. It can really make you angry and frustrated. When World War I broke out, Hitler saw it as a chance to prove himself. He joined the German army. He was a good soldier, even getting medals for bravery. But Germany lost the war. This defeat shattered Hitler. He felt betrayed by his leaders. He thought Germany should have won. This anger and resentment would shape his future actions. Hitler believed the Treaty of Versailles, which ended the war, was unfair to Germany. It blamed Germany for the war, and forced it to pay huge fines. This made many Germans angry. Hitler used this anger to gain support for his own ideas. He began speaking out against the treaty and the government. He was a powerful speaker. He knew how to tap into people's fears and frustrations. After the war, Germany was in chaos. People were struggling to survive. They were looking for someone to blame. Hitler and his Nazi party offered simple solutions to complex problems. They blamed Jews, communists, and other groups for Germany's troubles. This dangerous ideology appealed to many desperate Germans. The Nazi party grew quickly. People were drawn to Hitler's charisma and his message of hate. They believed his promises to make Germany strong again. The Nazi party used propaganda to spread its message. They controlled the newspapers, radio, and movies. They filled them with lies about the enemies of Germany. They used fear and intimidation to silence anyone who opposed them. By 1933, the Nazi Party was the most powerful political force in Germany. Hitler was appointed chancellor, the head of the government. He quickly consolidated his power. He banned all other political parties. He made himself the dictator of Germany. Democracy was dead. Once in power, Hitler surrounded himself with a group of men who shared his twisted vision for Germany. These men, often referred to as the apostles of evil, were responsible for carrying out Hitler's will and implementing his horrific plans. They were driven by ambition, fanaticism, and a chilling lack of empathy for their fellow human beings. These men were not mindless followers. They were intelligent and ruthless individuals who used their positions to advance their careers and carry out their own agendas of power and cruelty. Each of them played a critical role in the rise of the Nazi regime and the horrors that followed. They helped to build the Nazi war machine, persecute and murder millions of innocent people, and plunge the world into a devastating war. Their names are forever etched in history as symbols of evil. Heinrich Himmler, the architect of the Holocaust, Joseph Goebbels, the master of propaganda, Hermann Göring, the corrupt head of the Air Force, and Rudolf Hess, Hitler's devoted deputy. These men were responsible for unspeakable crimes against humanity. Their actions serve as a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the seductive nature of hate. Heinrich Himmler was one of the most powerful men in Nazi Germany. As the head of the SS, the Nazi Party's elite guard, and the Gestapo, the secret police, Himmler controlled the machinery of terror that gripped the nation. He was a cold and calculating individual, obsessed with racial purity and the elimination of anyone deemed an enemy of the state. Himmler was the architect of the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews. He established the concentration camps and death camps where Jews, political opponents, and other minority groups were imprisoned, tortured, and murdered. He created the Einsatzgruppen, mobile killing squads that followed the German army into Eastern Europe, murdering Jews and other civilians in mass shootings. Himmler believed he was carrying out a necessary duty, cleansing the world of what he saw as undesirable elements. His twisted ideology and ruthless efficiency made him one of the most terrifying figures in human history. He was directly responsible for the deaths of millions of innocent people. Joseph Goebbels was a master of propaganda. As Hitler's minister of propaganda, he controlled all aspects of German media, newspapers, radio, film, and theater. He used his position to spread Nazi ideology, glorify Hitler, and incite hatred against Jews and other enemies of the state. Goebbels was a gifted orator, able to captivate audiences with his passionate speeches and simplistic slogans. He understood the power of repetition and emotional appeals, using them to great effect in shaping public opinion. He created a cult of personality around Hitler, portraying him as a messianic figure destined to lead Germany to greatness. Goebbels' propaganda was filled with lies and distortions designed to demonize his enemies and justify the Nazi regime's actions. He played a key role in creating the climate of fear and hatred that made the Holocaust possible. His words poisoned the minds of a generation, fueling the flames of prejudice and violence. Hermann Göring was a World War I flying ace who became one of Hitler's most trusted lieutenants. He was a complex and contradictory figure, charismatic and ruthless, intelligent and deeply flawed. Göring craved power, wealth, and recognition, and he was willing to do whatever it took to achieve them. As head of the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, Göring played a key role in the Nazi war effort. He oversaw the bombing of civilian targets, including the Blitz on London, and the brutal air war on the Eastern Front. He was also responsible for the economic exploitation of conquered territories, amassing a vast personal fortune through theft and corruption. Göring's greed and ambition knew no bounds. He surrounded himself with luxury, building a lavish estate and amassing a vast art collection stolen from Jewish collectors. He was a symbol of the Nazi regime's corruption and brutality, a man who had traded his humanity for power and wealth. Rudolf Hess was one of Hitler's earliest and most devoted followers. He joined the Nazi Party in its infancy and participated in the failed beer hall putsch in 1923. He served as Hitler's deputy and was a key figure in the Nazi Party's rise to power. Hess was a true believer in Nazi ideology. He was deeply anti-Semitic and shared Hitler's vision of a racially pure Germany. He was known for his fanaticism and his unwavering loyalty to Hitler. In 1941, Hess made a bizarre and ill-fated attempt to negotiate peace with Britain, flying solo to Scotland in a desperate bid to end the war. Hess's motives for this strange mission remain unclear, but it is believed he was acting on his own initiative, without Hitler's knowledge or approval. He was captured by the British and spent the rest of the war in prison. He was later tried at Nuremberg and sentenced to life in prison, where he died in 1987. The actions of Hitler and his apostles of evil had devastating consequences for the world. Their ideology of hate and their lust for power plunged Europe into the deadliest conflict in human history, World War II. Millions of people were killed, cities were reduced to rubble, and entire countries were left in ruins. The Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews, stands as a chilling reminder of the horrors that can occur when hatred and intolerance go unchecked. The Nazi regime's crimes against humanity left an indelible scar on the world, a testament to the destructive power of prejudice and discrimination. The legacy of Hitler and his inner circle serves as a stark warning for future generations. It is a reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of vigilance in the face of extremism and intolerance. The world must never forget the lessons of the past, lest we repeat the mistakes that led to such unimaginable suffering. Although the world has moved on since the horrors of World War II, it is crucial to remember the events of the past and learn from them. The story of Hitler and his apostles of evil reminds us that evil can take many forms, and that even the most civilized societies are not immune to its allure. It is our responsibility to challenge hatred and intolerance wherever we see it. We must be vigilant in protecting the rights of all people, regardless of their race, religion, ethnicity, or sexual orientation. Education is key to preventing future atrocities. By teaching future generations about the horrors of the Holocaust and the dangers of unchecked power, we can help create a more just and compassionate world. Remember, silence in the face of evil is complicity. We must all strive to be upstanders, not bystanders, when we witness injustice. By learning from the past and working together to build a better future, we can honor the memory of those who suffered and perished under the Nazi regime. Let us never forget.